Well, now for a segment we call Military Minutes. Every other Tuesday, we focus on efforts to support our military right here in the Bay Area.
And this is an important one because we're talking about the difference between Memorial Day, which is coming up this month, and Veterans Day in November. So joining us now to talk a little bit more about those differences, Dr. Carrie Elk from the Elk Institute. Thank you so much again for being here every other Tuesday.
It's always good to be here.
Yeah, it's so great to have you. So, Dr. Elk, tell us about the difference between Memorial Day versus Veterans Day.
I'm so glad to be able to do this because working with the military community around the country as a civilian, I learned that often, they tell me often that we get confused or we kind of combined Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and they're very different. In the military community, there's, Memorial Day is when they're memorializing their fallen comrades or the Gold Star families who've lost family members fighting for our freedoms, are memorializing and remembering them, as opposed to Veterans Day, which is in November 11th, when we celebrate and we thank the veterans that are still serving or have served.
And I've often been told too to be careful about wishing someone maybe a happy Memorial Day, because it's not really a happy, it's a reflecting time for those families and for all of us, really.
Yeah, and what I did is I took a little poll of the service members I work with from different branches around the country, and I said, what do we say to you? If we feel compelled to say something on Memorial Day, you see a service member in uniform or something like that, what do you say? And they said, well, you don't have to say anything to me on Memorial Day because it's not about me, it's about my fallen comrades. And I said, well, we're inclined to feel that we want to say something to recognize. And so however you say it, the sentiment would be, I appreciate and I'm remembering your fallen comrades and their sacrifice today, or your family members' sacrifice today. The most important thing is that we don't forget about those who fought for our freedom and paid that ultimate price.
And many times, the family members are left behind, and we just assume that support is there for them, but that is not the case at all. A lot of times there are things that maybe we as civilians can do to lift the family members left behind mourning and, maybe struggling.
Absolutely. And the worst thing to do is to forget. So we want to make sure, don't be afraid to bring it up. Don't be afraid to say on Memorial Day, I'm thinking of you, and I thank you and your family member for the sacrifices that they've made for our country and for my freedom. We don't want to not say anything. Sometimes you feel funny about that, but the worst part, you don't want to forget about the people who fought that way for us.
And that's one of the reasons why we have these days is so, we should remember every day, but this is one time where we can make sure to reach out to that person, put the flag up, and remember that people have really paid everything in their lives to help us.
We've got. Absolutely. So a couple of things we can do is, flying the flag and displaying our American flag. Some of us like to do that every day on our house or place of business. But Memorial Day is one of those holidays where we especially want to do that. And what we do on Memorial Day, we're to fly our flags at half staff until noon, in honor of the fallen. And then at noon, as the living, remembering them, we still have folks still fighting for that freedom and continuing, so that their sacrifice was not in vain. We raise it to full staff at noon for the rest of Memorial Day.
Very interesting. Thank you, Dr. I feel a lot more informed now.
Me too. Well, we are here to help you make today great.
And we'll be right back.